On this video, I am going to be sharing 5 reasons why you, as a content creator or as a person that is capable, and I'm talking about not just an aspiring content creator, a person that has the skill already, they're quite confident in putting the camera there and recording and using a few apps to create something and put it out there to the world for them to ingest, and you've done that mostly for yourself. I'm talking to you because this video is mainly for a person that is more experienced there. But if you're a person that is an aspiring content creator, you can definitely watch this video as well, because it could help you. Because I remember before I started content, I used to watch videos of what could be the effects of starting to create content and where could I end up doing this whole content creation. So if you already know this, why should you, as a content creator, stop creating short form videos for just yourself? I mean, darling, there's so much more you can acquire with the skills that you've already begun growing, and if you can invest that with someone else, it amplifies your experience in the digital world and what the benefits from what you are doing. Okay, so I'm not gonna take your time like that. We're gonna jump into it. I have a cute short story actually that I want to share of how I even ended up saying I'm a junior marketer. It's not even about the title, especially for me, because I never really understood marketing when I was at school like that. That's not how I conceptualized it, because I wish I did. I wish I just got it like, oh, that's what marketing is. Then it would have been easier for me to choose what I wanted to do after school. But the story essentially is about me organically getting into this world, because it was always going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So when I was in high school, getting out of high school into college, we did art, we were dancer, we were on stage doing all the good stuff. And whilst we were doing that, I realized that I'm going to leave school, or in both, I'm talking about high school and now college, and when I'm out, it is my responsibility to get myself out there. And I was like, how am I going to do this? And of course you do have assistance and a network that you would have discovered whilst you were studying all of this, and that is on you. And I did trust in that, but I was like, it's not enough. I do feel as though, like, yes, we might be in the same schools, but we don't necessarily have the same dreams and the same stages that we want to go to. So it means, as much as the people around me are a sort of network, but they're not the network I want or need or feel is gonna help me advance my career. You know what I'm saying? So with that said, I was like, social media. And then also, social media was not something that I had an idea that it could pay. No, I didn't. It was more like, let's make her beautiful and let's say this is us. And that's when like modeling came in, taking gorgeous pictures, walking on heels. And because I always loved doing it, but I was like, I can put this on social media, not for any reason other than to say I can. And I want to continue building my persona around this, because it makes me feel exactly how I would like to make other people feel confident. You know what I'm saying? So wrapping that up, social media became a thing that I was understanding the more I did it, even though it is purely for profiling myself and just maintaining an easy way to be understood from an external point of view. When I was during the college time, that's when like your influences, even in South Africa, were booming and actually making like a living, a proper living. I was like, hey, what is this? What is this? I know exactly what you're doing. Why am I not making a cent? And I just jumped on that wagon. I kept on trying, I'd say. That's when YouTube started. I was like, let me see. I'm sure like I have the elements for a successful YouTuber. The personality is there. I mean, I've got a story to share. You know what I'm saying? So, and I am willing to learn the editing, the khutta, the viti, the vatakhan, don. So I started YouTube, but YouTube is no monster to play with. And think you're just gonna blah 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 and win. No, you have to know exactly what you're on about, and not like that, but just your contribution, like on an entertainment, educational, or whatever it is. You must be confident and know that this is what you're doing for this person. And I wasn't there. I think it was more about me and my dream as an artist, and that is okay. It's perfectly fine, because again, you discover what you can do with the space whilst in that space. How would I have discovered what I can do with YouTube if I was not on YouTube? You know what I'm saying? And also, it's so weird. I've been listening to like music on YouTube for many years. I never knew like you could actually upload your own video. Hey, but when I did, again, like I'm saying, it kind of helped me get to where I am today. So to get to the end of the story, you start making money because now you understand the system, and you also are able not only to contact people, but they also contact you. Beautiful. And you understand what's required from you. And when I understood that, then I started being that person where I'm waking up and just going on content. We are 3 content or 4, 5, whatever that day and how you feel, but also my life revolves around creating content, which is amazing, especially when you start reaping the rewards of dedicating your time and giving it to content in every form. If it was not a walk video, it was a cute little acting video. If it was not that, it was a pose. There was always something to share in different form. Instagram, TikTok, well, TikTok was not there yet because I'm going to get to that point. It was mainly Instagram and Facebook for me because my communities were dominant there. Ending the story because I don't want this video to be about that. It is about why you as a like short form content creator, you should consider expanding what you're doing, not just for yourself but for other people, because that will help you when you are other people's solution. So just to wrap it up, whilst I was making all this money, for me it became also difficult to really manage my life, where life is also happening whilst you are savaging on the internet, from the top to the, because TikTok came really with amazing opportunity. I was ticking the buckets accordingly, and also TikTok allowed me to almost not solidify but to introduce myself in this content economy space, because I'm not necessarily foreign, but I'm also not like big at all. But again, I'm not foreign. It's like, yeah, we know you, hello vibes. And even that was not my idea, it was yours. But I'll get into that if you want more of that kind of storytelling, but I really don't want to stretch it too long for you. But the difficulty is managing my real life, and social media is not fake, but essentially work and being an entertainer on social media, using my real life skills and putting on socials for people to be entertained. I was like, girl, this is a lot. There are days where I am actually depressed. There are days where not only is it depression, but the bank is also screaming, and I need that bank to give me the positivity vibes. You know what I'm saying? Because it's really hard out there. Anyway, crunching it over, I personally couldn't manage it like that. I wanted to also know that and be confident about what I'm doing is also good for the future. 1 minute you are in the content creator economy in terms of like popularity, and the next you're out. Honestly, it also does depend on you. And for me, I know I'm also one of those people that I definitely will lose the wagon. You're not like fall off the wagon, because there's a lot more that needs to be managed, especially as a person that's coming from like a different city. I am basically alone here, but I do have support. I definitely do, I won't lie. But as we're even speaking again, I'm very far from anyone. My first point of call is on the phone. What the hell, so all of that does come into play in you not being able to always be on that algorithm. So for me, I was like, what happens in 10 years when life is really happening, not only for me, maybe for my children or for my family, and I can't be on the algorithm? Let me do it for other people. And that's when I started hunting for people that were capable to pay and needed assistance, and I could see where the loopholes were. Because the way I did content creation also here on YouTube, I found mentors online and I followed them, I listened to them, I tried things, I failed, always failed until you get successful. Because my very first like viral video on TikTok was, even now obviously it stopped going, it was that Cardi B video. 15 million, what do you mean? 15 million views. That's when I was like, okay, let's do this. The very first reason for me that I thought it was very important to look into, let's say, the next 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, financial stability. So me being behind the scenes, almost promise like there's way more financial lucrative opportunities out there that you as a person with all these skills can contribute towards and be paid for. So when you do it for yourself, remember, you don't even notice how many things are required from you in terms of skills, but when you just take your time, breathe in, go out there and look for people that are looking for help and look at what they're looking for. You're like, girl, I can do that. I can do that. And when you break those individual responsibilities and skills, they can pay you so much more. And for me, again, it's not like chasing for money, but it's knowing how can I sustain this? Because if I'm not only doing it for myself, if I'm not only doing it for myself and I'm doing it for someone else, I know if we sign things like contract and I'm like, I'm here for you, bab, 3 months, 6 months, a year, then I know for like the next year, no else, I'm good. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's things like that. So yes, financial lucrative opportunities are one of the most important things. I can delve deeper into this because for me it changed my life, honestly, when I was no longer a content creator, but when I had my own clients, which I'm very proud of. So you let me know on the comment section. I don't know, because I also don't want to blabber too much. I've already done that. Thank you. The second reason is time effectiveness. Okay, like I said in my story, you as a content creator, you always trying to hoy it. Whilst you're trying to hoy it, you have an event to go to. Whilst you have that event to go to, you have a collaboration to travel to. Whilst you have that collaboration to travel to, babes, you have planning, editing, uploading, keeping up with the comments. Hi boo, hi boo, hi boo. The system is just always requiring you to be a jack of all trades, which is amazing. And at this point, this is where this skill kind of pays. But for me, that doesn't work always, because I'm saying this as though every day is going to look like that. It doesn't look like that, not every day. And because every day is also unpredictable with your planned to-do list, when it comes to content creation, the more days you lose, the more money you lose, because things need to get out there. You're not in a rush. Of course, quality is a thing that you want to look at, but at the same time, quantity, you need to also get it out there until you also have a community that is willing to wait. But you build that with quantity, right? So to finish this point, when you are behind the scenes and doing it for someone else, again, you understand their vision, their plan, where they're going. Whilst of course you're looking at yourself too, but there's a calendar, which is something that is very much required when you're doing it for yourself. But there's just a bit of freedom when you're doing it for yourself, especially when it's not fully paying you like that. You're always trying to find other opportunities that are going to make you money. Again, when you're doing it for someone else, not only are you doing it for them, you know you are growing the skill and it's becoming stronger for you. And you know when you do it for yourself, at some point again, you're hoying. Yeah, so time effectiveness, it just allows you to be in control and have better communications with people, well, your clients, in how we're going to do this product and deliver it. The third one, just to crunch it up, is collaborative opportunities. I'm not going to go right into it. The most beautiful thing that I found working for someone, not only are you working and sharing your skills, but you get to be exposed to their network. And whilst you're exposed to their network, as a person that is assisting them, you're always representing what they stand for, even within their network. But at the end of the day, you as an individual are still communicating with new people. You are growing the way you work with people, the way you understand different briefs, the way you understand how people want their products done. You as an individual are working with a bigger team. This is a skill that is, but again, it's not something you can do just once. Like, it won't take you one day. And yes, of course, you can sit around people and do something and achieve something of importance. But the more you do it every single day in different forms, trying to achieve and complete projects, it's going to be a banger. I'm telling you. So I advise that you think of assisting someone out there. And sometimes it's not, and that's where for me, the negotiation of, if you can't afford me, it's looking at what we're going to be doing together. What are you willing to also, what world are you willing to open for me? And not like that, like, but the truth is, again, if you know that you are on the move and you know that There are fun things that we can do, fun people that we're going to come across, great experiences. That is a form of payment. But again, not always. But you will decipher. Exposure is not that kind of chat, and that's not for me. I would say I wouldn't want to define what I just spoke about earlier as just exposure. It's also work, because even if you're being paid, it's not like you wouldn't have experienced that. But with your portfolio, and if you're not there and you're there to justify it, honestly, to be honest, for me it's just a part of a plan where you are looking for what I have and I'm also looking for what you have. And right now we are at a similar place, rather than working for let's say a company that has the money but is using you. I run away from those, like, totally. If I know you can afford me but you're not paying me, then it's fine. But if I know when a person can't afford you, but when you also know they're putting in effort to grow themselves, let's do it together and see how far we can get. And wherever it ends, babes, it was lovely working with you. And this one is something that I've already mentioned. The fourth one, I've already mentioned this in all these points in different forms in my stories. The skill set that you're going to be, the skill development set that you are going to acquire in the process is mind-boggling again. Editing, storytelling, copywriting. I mean, I don't want to repeat myself, because I remember in 20-something I created a video about hustling, and side hustling has also been ultimately the reason I'm sitting here. I'm no longer doing it like that, like in your face, and I don't think it's something that I'll ever end at the same time. But me just being in a 9-to-5 that is helping me feel confident about how much I'm going to get at the end of the month. It feels like I'm working for a client even though I am an employee, but it's just perspective. And finally, the last thing would be building a legacy with your work. When you're doing it for yourself, of course, there is a form of legacy that you are going to grow. But I feel like when you are helping other people, impact, you touch them differently. And with that said, also you have a bigger variety of audience that you get to work with other than just yours. Because yours, you grow, you understand, you vibe with, and at the same time, truth is, you don't have to vibe with everyone like that. And it's also beautiful to introduce not just yourself, but what you can bring to the table, because why not? Anyway, I hope this video was helpful to an extent. I can delve deeper into these points, right? And kind of share stories of how they've been helpful for me, each and every one of them. But also we can continue this conversation and delve more into social media, more into marketing, creative storytelling, and just building your brand around your experience and your lens in this world. Because there's someone that wants to know, there's someone that's interested and curious, and you might just be the person that inspires them to do so much more. If you want to follow me and see other perspective of myself, I am Siithembs, SIITHEMBS, on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, everywhere where you can add a freaking what is this called? A freaking at. I'm Siithembs. Thank you so much for giving me your time. I do appreciate it. I hope I see you next week. Tell me more. I am interested in solidifying my ass on this freaking camera, and for as long as I can, because I love doing this. I tried quitting it and I can't. Darling,